If you're a real estate agent and you want to build more trust with your potential clients, you want to be top of mind, and you want to create the best lead source on this planet, you need an email newsletter. My name is Niklas Kling. I've been a real estate agent for almost 5 years. I create an email newsletter myself with almost 400 people on it. So in this video, I will show you exactly how to create an email newsletter so you can start getting leads on autopilot. Alright, so let's jump into it. Why should every real estate agent have an email newsletter? So first of all, it's by far, to my knowledge, it's the smartest thing you can do as a real estate agent to be top of mind. Because if you really think about it, there's every single company on planet Earth that is selling something are competing for their potential clients' attention. So we really live in a world where attention is everything, and if you are operating in a way where you can grab attention of your potential clients in a smart way, like, you are winning, mark my words. So that's why, making sure that you have an email newsletter, it's the smartest way, to my knowledge, to be top of mind, because you can send out one email newsletter every single week to potential clients of yours, and you provide value to them. That's the reason for why they even want to sign up. So you give them value, and indirectly that you will be top of mind in their heads. So when they need an agent, you're there at least. And the second thing that I think is so important as well is that, because, as I said, there's so many people out there that are competing for your potential clients' attention. Of course, there are other agents out there, but if someone owns a home, no matter if it's in Sweden, Denmark, UK, Finland, US, for example, there are a lot of products that are competing for their attention. So that's why I think it's so damn important that you, as a real estate agent, you have a direct line to them, so you don't have to rely on social media, paid ads, flyers put out. You're spending so much money on this. So an email newsletter is for free for most people. That's why it's so damn valuable. And the reason to why, top of mind really wins is because I have a firm belief that, as you can see, the agents who sells the most are often the ones who are top of mind to their potential clients at the right time. Because there's so many things that are happening, there's so many people that is competing for their attention, meaning that when it's time for them to sell, it's not like they know every single agent in the area or neighborhood they live in, right? So they have a lot of things that is more important in their life than knowing what agents operate in their area. So that's why I do believe that if you operate in a way where you maximize the chances that you are top of mind to as many of your potential clients as possible when it's time for them, or rather say they are in need of your service, of course you're going to get more people contacting you. So that's why, as I said before, if you make sure that you have an email newsletter, you grab their attention once and you grab their email so you have it, and make sure that you provide as much value as possible so they never unsubscribe from your email newsletter, well, you're in a very good position. And as I said before, it's so important that you really own the communication, because you don't have to rely on any algorithm. For example, take in the US, I don't know what's happening there, but TikTok, for example, it's at least there were a period of time where everything looks very bad. So there is so many big creators on there that relied for their whole business to the brand they've built there. So that's why I do believe it's so important that if you're building a personal brand on social media, or if you're just building a personal brand in general, let's say I've worked for 10 years as a real estate agent, make sure that every single buyer of yours and seller of yours gets on that, email newsletter, because you own it. There's no middleman. And the best part is you, as a real estate agent, you're only one click away to sending out a message to them. So for me, example, now I have almost 400 people on my email newsletter. So every single week, I do have the power that I can choose exactly what I want to communicate with them, and they can reply back to me. I have a lot of people great one, great letter, etc. So it's so it doesn't take a lot of time either. So it's so valuable. And if you really think about it, for me, the biggest shift was that, I thought okay, well, in email newsletter, I stumbled upon a person on YouTube that talked about it, and then I just clicked like, every single big brand that I follow and I have been a customer for years, like they have an email newsletter. And people that know me, the clothes I wear, I'm a super big fan of Suitsupply. I think I've worked, I shopped at their place or for over 5 years, 6 years, I think. And make sure, and if you look at it, every single week I get an email from them. So they are top of mind in my head. I will never leave them, of course, but if you really think about it, and I think this, for most people of you watching right now, this will be like a very big aha moment for you as well. Because the big brands are using it, even the luxury brands, and that's why I have such firm belief that local businesses should do this as well, especially a real estate agent. Like, it's so smart, and the main point I wanted to say here as well is like, if the absolute best brands in the world and the biggest company who make the most money in the entire world are using this, then it must be very powerful and very effective. So why should you not use it? In my eyes, that's a big reason enough. And the reason why I think it's so important as well is like, this list becomes more and more valuable over time. So if you're looking at this, you have worked for 10 years as an agent, or if you're looking at this and you work like 1 week, like, make this done. Because what will happen here is that over time, you will get more people on the list, as you can see here. And the more people you get on it, obviously, like, the bigger the list grows. And what happens as well over time is that, when you have more people on it, you provide so much value every single week. Like, if someone have been on your email newsletter for 1 year versus 1 week, of course, the person has been with you for 1 year, they trust you more. And it just builds up every single week, every single month. They just trust you more because you provide more value to them. So that's why it's so important to know that, the lead sources that you have, like, it grows with time. And the best part to know as well is that if you change firm, whatever happens with you and your career, like, you own the newsletter. Because sometimes, you switch firm, you lose your number, you lose your email and things like that, and that could be very devastating for most people because you have built your brand, people have saved your number, so when it's time for them to sell, they want to call you, but you have changed the number, so they call to your competitor. So that's why I think this is very, very valuable for a real estate agent, and especially like if you're in a negotiation position. Let's say that you want to switch firm, you want to have a better deal, you're in a position where you have very, very much leads coming in from yourself, so you can sustain and grow your business just by yourself. Well, imagine how powerful that is. Like, you can just pick a firm where you get a good deal and you run the business yourself and get the leads and everything like that. So this is the blueprint. I think this is very important as well. So first of all, this is very simple. You should pick a provider. So for me, for example, if you are on my email newsletter, if you're not, click on the link in the bio. I have, as I said, like almost 400 people on it. So a lot of people are thinking it's very valuable. But first of all, what I really meant there is that I have Beehive. So it's a place that's for free, up to maybe 2,000 subscribers if for free. So I think that you should just pick one in the beginning, just pick one. You can change and you can, export lists and stuff like that. And then I think it's very important as well to, when you have an email newsletter, you really want to, like, you have gotten their email, it's so valuable, so you really wanna take care of it. So that means that you should not blast out one email a day. You should post or like send out an email at least once per week. You could do it every other 2 weeks as well. Because what's very important is that if you don't have anything valuable to say, don't say anything. Because the worst place you can be at is that you're just blasting them with things because you think once a day it's very good, you're top of mind, but people will unsubscribe faster than you can imagine because people value their time, and I think it's very important that you value their time as well. So that's why the second thing is very important as well, is that you have to keep it short. Because I've seen people posting content on social media. It doesn't really matter where you're posting it. If it's social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, email, newsletter, like if you're posting things that's too long, I don't care if it's super, super valuable. You know, people have short attention spans, especially for an email. So that's why I make sure that every single email I send out on my email newsletter, it's maximum 60-second read. That's very important. And as I said in the beginning, you really gotta be very smart here. So let's say that after 3 months, you have 50 people on the email newsletter that's potential clients of yours. You gotta make sure that you value their time. So the best case scenario that I want you to think of is like every time they get an email from you, you want them to click on it and you want them to leave with so much value in as little time as possible. Because what you want in a best case scenario is that every single time they see your email newsletter in their email inbox, every single one should click on it. And if it's too long, if it's crappy things you share, you know, just more and more people is not going to click on it. And this, you know, I've already, talked about it. And the thing is that you rather want to put them in a position where they want more than, you know, them being too full. Because when this happens and you make this thing a reality, then, as I said, like every single one will click on it and read it through. And now you might think like, well, okay, this sounds very good. How do I get people in my email newsletter? And very good question. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So you have past seller of yours, you have past buyer of yours, meaning that let's say that you're a person watching this, you have worked for 2 years. Let's say you have sold 40 homes in those 2 years. That means that you have 40 sellers or even more, depending if there are 2 or 3 sellers. And then you have, you know, at least, bare minimum the same amount as buyers. So let's say that you have on average maybe 100 sellers and buyers combined after 2 years in the game. The way I will go about it is that I will contact them. I will make a very good text message, and I will send it out to them. Hi, I just created this email newsletter. I'm sharing my absolute best tips and tricks for X, Y, and Z for people who live in this area. Everyone who I've talked with so far have wanted to join, so I just wanted to let you know and check in if you want to join as well. Something like that. I think that's a very smart move to be making. So if you just would start there, I'm very certain that you will get your first 10, 20, 30 people on your email newsletter. And from there, you can just keep on building. And if you are a person watching this right now and you haven't worked for years, you maybe have worked for 2 weeks, then I get you. You don't have that too many people that have bought and sold with you, of course. So that's why I think it's super important as well to be very smart that you don't rely on just sellers and buyers. Be very smart here as well with client meetings. So people that you meet on a potential client meeting or a client meeting where you're maybe giving an evaluation, they want to sell, no matter if they're super hot or super cold, if you are there, you have invested your time, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, helping them and having a client meeting with them in their home, you should at bare minimum to make sure that you grab their email and you can put it into the email newsletter and talk about it on the meeting, of course, so you have their okay on it. And the last one I think is super valuable as well is that on top of these 4 things, every single person that you meet on open house viewing can be people that lives in your area, and very high likelihood that if they don't buy from you, they might buy from someone else and they live in the area. So you want to make sure that as many people that you meet in a daily basis, you can put them in there, because if you work in this way, it's just a matter of months until you have like 100 people plus on it. So I think this is a very smart way to go about this. And other ways to work with this, of course, social media. I've talked about this in previous videos of mine. The main reason why you should be posting on social media is to grab people's email, because once you have it, it's the most valuable things you can do. So building a personal brand on social media, that's in it of itself is a very, very good top of mind thing as well. But you cannot decide, let's say you post a reel on Instagram. it's up to Instagram and the algorithm if it gets shown to every single follower of yours. And unfortunately, in the day and age we live today, if you have 1,000 followers, if you post a reel, not every single one of them is going to watch it and click on it. Meaning that's why it's so powerful to grab their email and then make sure that you have a direct line with them, that you know that they are getting the email. And if they click on it, of course, it's a matter of if they're on their email or not, in their inbox, but you know what I mean. So that's why you really should see building your personal brand on social media as an absolute killer way to grab people's email. You can send an DM, you could post an ad, providing things that's valuable. And what happens as well is that when you start to post content online with the sole purpose of, attracting your potential clients, over time, more and more of those people is going to tune in. They're going to start follow you. Because if you make content that is very niche and 100% for your potential clients, the algorithm will work in a way where it gets pushed and shown to those people. So that's why you should not just post things for your friends and family, and that won't bring you any leads in at least in the way I talk about today. So that's why I think it's so important as well to build your personal brand online, and it feeds your email newsletter. And the results, what really happens if you work in this way? Well, you're going to get more trust, because over time, when people follow you on social media, they're on your email newsletter for every single week and month that goes, they're going to trust you more, because there are only two scenarios that happens. For every week and month that goes, they trust you more. Or if they unsubscribe, well, then they're out of the game. So for every single person that's still on your email newsletter and still follow you on social media, you're just building more and more trust with them. And as with time, you're going to be more top of mind to more people as well. Because let's say your first week, you maybe have 5 people on it, 10 people on it. But if you fast forward 3 years, you're probably going to have hundreds or even thousands of people on your email newsletter. So that's why over time, you become more top of mind to more people. And what happens as a consequence? Well, of course, you're going to get more leads, because if you fast forward from today, let's say that in 4 years, you have 5,000 people on your email newsletter. If you compare that to today, when you have only 5, of course, you're going to get more leads, because you're top of mind to more people, and more people have, trust you more. So that's why I just think this is so valuable. And that's why I've done one myself. I'm really sitting here, taking time, sharing the best things I know. And now, don't forget to watch this video where I talk about how to make $1 million in personal income as a real estate agent. And the most important thing you can do is to know your numbers. So don't forget to watch this one. It's a real banger.